In this video, you'll learn the 3 movement mechanics that you see most popular speedrunners like Freckleston do in Black Ops 3 Zombies. These mechanics are useful for not only speedrunners, but also just for any players that want to look good at the game. The first thing to understand off the bat is that controller players will always be at a disadvantage when it comes to speedrunning. However, this does not imply that a controller player cannot be better than another player on mouse and keyboard.
What? Controller player!
Also, if you need any help with the mechanics listed in the video, you can join my Discord server and send me a DM. I'll be happy to help anyone personally. The first movement mechanic is slide jumping. This mechanic is very easy to learn and is optimal for going up small hills and slopes because you have a slight slowdown while on uneven ground. This means that jumping down stairs, for example, is faster than running or sliding down. To do the slide jump, slide when you're sprinting with momentum and jump right before your slide animation ends. Then simply hold down the slide button in the air until you hit the ground again and repeat the process. Most players already have this mechanic down, but if you're just starting out, it might take a bit to get the timing right for your inputs. Keep in mind that for optimal speed, stay in your sliding animation as long as possible before jumping, because this is faster than this. The second movement mechanic is weapon swapping. This is what your favorite speedrunners are doing when they switch their weapons so much. When you slide, you'll notice that there's a slight buffer before you can sprint again. When you swap weapons before your slide, the buffer disappears. Another thing that eliminates the buffer is reloading as you slide, or even activating the PES on Moon. This means that you can essentially slide forever like this and you're still at optimal speed, unless you're going up a hill or on uneven terrain. To do this, you'll need to be holding W and sprint as you swap weapons, then slide. Make sure you are constantly holding sprint and W to keep chaining your slides. The timing to swap weapons as you slide is a little difficult to get down, and it varies depending on what gun you're holding, so you'll need to practice this a lot. The third movement mechanic is slide cancelling. The main thing to know about slide cancels is that slide cancelling by aiming down your sight, or ADS slide cancels, are slightly slower than what I'm about to show you. Basically, if at any point you need to cancel your slide, press your go to crouch or change stance keybind. This will cancel your slide with no sprint buffer as long as you're actively swapping weapons. Once again, this is why speedrunners swap weapons so much. You should start getting used to swapping your weapons before each slide. It's a good habit to have as a speedrunner. Slide cancels are very difficult on controller, but not impossible. Keep in mind, if you cancel your slide early, you'll lose a bit of time because you're missing out on most of the boost the slide would be giving you in the first place. Here's a little comparison. Anyways, those are the 3 main movement mechanics every speedrunner needs to know. Ideally, you'd be using a combination of these 3 mechanics and switch them up to be using them in the right situations. For example, slide jump is useful for going up or down slopes. Weapon swapping is good on flat ground, and slide cancels are useful to turn around quickly or turn corners. Watch any BO3 speedrunner's recent gameplay, and you'll notice when they're using each different mechanic. Here is some optimal gameplay using all 3.
Was it just me, or did you guys hear a voice?
There are many more tiny optimizations that could be shown in this video, but it would be a lot of time and effort, so please show your interest by liking the video and leaving comments. If enough people do, I'll work on a follow-up video going more in depth about certain things, and I'll even show other unique time saves. Once again, if you're struggling with certain mechanics in the video, join my Discord, send me a DM, and I'll try to help you personally. Have a nice day, fellas.